everyone, hope you are doing well. In the last video we discussed about the Angular 8 CRUD operations with ASP.NET Core 3.1 version. And we discussed about how to get the data, retrieve the data from the database and to show it. And the last output that we have was this, where we created an employee management page. We shown the records from the database. This was the output, and then this was the project. So we'll continue with this lecture where we will be seeing like how to edit the records, how to actually remove the existing records. So let's start with that. So to create, edit and delete operations, in our current page, what we'll be going to do is we'll be creating a component for that. So let's start with that. We're going to the CMD command prompt. So here we go, and I'm in particular direction in my AngularJS folder. So what I'll do is I will be using the command to generate a component in my employee folder. So as you all know that this is our employee folder where we earlier worked on, and we want to create in the same folder. So employee folder and then employee edit form, right? Or you can say employee edit component like this, and then you will specify module, which will be like add module, obviously. Yes, right. So here I put enter, and then if you see, the command will run successfully and we'll be having the it runs successfully. And now let's go back to the project. You will see the new folder is created with all those necessary files. So let's start with the HTML file first, where we will be designing our page. Basically, now our page was where we have seen earlier that this was showing an grid view where we shown the results. Now we'll be creating a form where we will be actually going to add the product finally. So here let's start with that. So here let's say I have a div already, and then I say hashtag, where I will say this will be my new employee, right? So this is okay, and then further we'll be using reactive forms. So form tag for that, and then it will be form group, right, is equal to, we'll be giving a name to that, maybe employee forms, employee form, employee add form, right? And then we'll be going it to submit, ng submit request is equal to, this will be going to my, let's say, submit method. We'll be creating that going further, right? And let's, after that we'll be going to create div, where we will be applying a class, div class form group. Yep, that's fine. So in that we will be quickly say that I wanna add name of a person, right? And then obviously I have an input type text, so will be a text box, form control name, the name of this particular control, and then class will be obviously that form control. We are using the reactive forms. So this is about the name. Let's copy it, the whole div, and create it for the others as well. So this was for the name, and let's say we created it for now. The next column was we are having the gender column, right? And then we will be changing the name for this, just do gender for that, and another will be for next we were having city, if I remember correctly, and then name will be city for that control, and last was our department. And the control name will be department for that. So last but not the least, we will be having a button, right? We will say type is equal to submit button. So this is all we created a form, and then this is a basically add component where I edit, but that's an add component. So what we have done is in the HTML file we have created a quick HTML where we have a name, gender, city and department for entering the data. So on that submit we will be actually going to the database and we'll save this data, and then quickly we'll go to the component here that we have where we'll be creating our method, right? The submit method that we have. So this is a selector for that, and then what we will be doing here is on ng init, right? So we will be saying this dot what the form name. So form name was employee edit form, right? So this dot employee form is equal to this dot p dot group, and then what we will be doing here is name colon empty. So we initializing it basically an empty, gender will be empty, and again we have a city, and then we have department. Department. So that's it. Now we will be saying it that this will be our employee edit will be our form group class, right? And for that form group will be importing it over here. So this is we have imported, now the error is gone. And then what we will do further is we have a constructor over here. So in constructor we'll be using that name. Yep. So we'll say here public fv, the object that we already created here, right? That will be our form builder, right? And then comma. So fv object for variable for that form builder, and there will be again a private router we need to create that will be coming from my router class. If router is not coming, we need to import it. So this will be imported for angular.router class, and then we will be calling another thing which will be public service, right? Which will be employee service in our case, right? And then automatically it will include the service which we have already in the project which we created in the last video. So the constructor is created successfully, and let's now create a submit form method which we have written over here. Where is that? Submit. Let's change it to submit form to avoid any confusion. So here we created a new function. So when we will submit our form, the request will come here. So in this we will be saying this dot my object of service is CRUD service dot, let's say I have a create function in my service. So in that create function where I'm passing my values, so employee form dot value, and then dot subscribe using lambda expression, and then I will say console dot log. When the result will be created successfully, I will say my employee is created successfully. So whenever the record will be saved, we will see that in the console that this is our So why this is not coming? Oh, we have employee add form variable. So let's change it over here. Okay, so we have this, and the create is not coming. Why? Let's see why the create is not coming. Maybe some issue. Oh, we have not created a method yet. Okay, so we are ready with our employee edit form, add form, where we created a page. We are function with our, we are ready with our component where it will we go to the submit function and then call our service. It is underlined because it is showing red because we have not created a method yet. So let's go to our service quickly and create a method for that. So let's say copy the name of that function. So this was our service where we actually used only one function in the last video where we actually taken the data from the database. So now we will be going to create the new method, which is a create method. So to create employee method, we will create a function, right? So this will be the employee parameter variable which will be passed from the page, and we will be using employee data model here, right, as we used in the get method. And here in this method we will say that it will return the data from, or it will post my data. So it will be using http object for that, and really here it will use the post method. So it's employee data model, and here we will be passing this .app URL where it will be calling that method, and the method name will be let's say employee, and new employee method name, right? And to this employee we will be going to send the data, which is json.stringify. The data is in this employee variable, right? And then we will be also sending us the http options here, and this http options we can declare somewhere here, which will have its headers to call the post method. So it will include the new http headers where we will be passing the content type variable. So the content type will be it will be application slash gist. So here we go. Let me review this. We don't need this man. So okay, so this is http option, and the same we passed it over here. Okay, jot 5, and then yes, so that's the method. Everything seems okay here. Why this is in green, red? So maybe something here. Headers, so it might be headers, yeah. So here we go. So this is our create method, and then it's ready. So now we can create this new employee method in the controller. So let's quickly go to our controller now. So this is our controller, right? In our controller we will be writing this public and then bool. So we'll be returning bool from this method, that is the employee is created or it has an issue. In case of it pass, it will return true, otherwise will return false. So it's a public new employee method, and then here we will say from body. So it will take our variable that we passed from service, and that will be data. So that's a TBL employee model, and then over here we will write that it is our http post method. Okay, so we'll say return our class data access class variable was this dot it will be maybe create employee method, and to this data access layer we will pass the emp data. Now we'll copy this method and go to our data access layer to complete the cycle. So we will say public, again a bool variable which will have create employee, and the tbl employee emp variable, maybe emp data variable, and then we will say bool result is equal to false. So if anything is failing in this method it will return false, right? And then try, and let's put a catch there before we write the tries definition. So okay, so the our model was tvl employee, and then let's say new employee is equal to new employee. So we created an instance now for this model, and we will say that new employee dot my name, employee name that we are passing here is my emp data dot name, and similarly we will be doing it for all the others variables. So let me copy paste it. So we have now gender variable, and same here, we'll take the value for gender from this emp data, and then city variable we have the department, if I correctly remember, yeah, and whatever, what else was it there, city, department, employee id will be automatically created. So that's it. Yeah, so here we'll say dot save changes new employee. Yeah, so db context dot tbl employee dot, first of all we'll add it first, add the new employee that we created, and then db context dot save changes. So here we go, like we have our method ready now, and in last we will say return our result, right? And if everything goes well in save changes, we will change the variable to true. Makes sense? So yeah, so this is employee method is created. So as we have seen that from our service we had created an employee create method which will go to the controller with the new employee method. Here it will take the data, whatever will be the field in the form, and then it will go to the data access layer. If everything goes well, it is returning true, and then it again comes back to service. It will. So yeah, before I run the thing, we should be creating let me show you the result first. So we still need to do some settings. So it's compiling, let's see what comes up. So now service has a method, and then controller and data access layer has a method. Now we do need to do the routing. So we need to create an route yet for this newly created employee page or component, and then yeah, once the routing is done, it will be started working properly. So it still says loading. Let's see what's happening in the background. It says can't bind to the form group it's not a non-property of form. Okay, so if you see this error, so let's go back and to our open the app module component. Yeah, so with the forms module here you will be writing a reactive forms module because we are using a form group tags over there. So after this module declaration we'll call our form module also. So if we try to run it again, it will now run. So here it goes. So let's go to the employee management page. So you see like it was the last result, nothing changed in this video. But what we'll do is, as we have created all the necessary component, service method, controller method, data access layer method, now we'll go to this page and really we will be after this div we will say I want to create a new button, which will be button type is equal to button, and then it will be calling my let's put the name to slash create hyphen employee. So create employee is our path of that component, and we will say new employee. So we'll quickly go to the again app.module now, and wherever we have our paths we will try to create our new, we will say path colon the name that we given is this. We'll remove the slash spaces and we will say it will be from employee edit C component. So component is employee edit C component. So yep, our settings are almost done, and let's go back to the browser. So it's refreshing. The button is there, it says new employee. Let's open this. It opens up our page properly, and let me add James, right, male, city will be Chandigarh, department is IT, button is small so it's okay, but I'll click it and let's put a breakpoint here in the controller, and we have not put the breakpoint or we have not redirected. So if I go back, it's created, no, I think no, let's see. So James, gender is male, city IT, and then department is city is guard. Okay, if I hit button now, so call doesn't go to controller, that means we have issues in service maybe. Yeah, in service is trying to say that cannot post to this method. It may be an issue. Actually it didn't find this method, so what will be the issue? Let's check in our controller quickly. Yeah, so we have not put the route over here. So route is we will say we will be going to tell him that this is API slash employee slash whatever we will have written in our service. So that's why I like to do practical things over here, so that we face the issues in runtime and then we'll fix it in the runtime as well. Yep, so the now route is given, it should work now. So it's coming up. Now if everything goes well, then we'll go to employee management, we'll create a new employee, James, male, cities, department is IT, and I hit OK. You see service passed. This method is to the controller now. If I go ahead, it should be in data access layer. Here it is. So if I hit F5 now, so this is back to the page now. Let's see. So James record is created, but I see department city is not giving me correct values. Let's see why. Maybe in my data access layer, oh, we forgot to change the variables. So city and then department is my department over here. So now let's run it again quickly. So it's filing now, it's coming up. So here let's click on the employee management again, go to new employee, John, male, city is AL, department is finance, click OK, continue, and then go back, John, male, AL, finance. So all values are corrected now. So this was our how to add the data in the database, and last time we did the you know data retrieval. So our adding and then retrieving is done. So stay in tune, we will be now going to discuss about the update and then delete. Thank you guys.